Chef Michael Kornick is one of the most popular and honored restaurateurs in Chicago. Born in the Windy City suburb of Highland Park, he grew up cooking with his mother and grandmother and declared he wanted to become a chef at an early age. By 16, he had his own catering company, and after cooking school, he apprenticed at the top-rated Quilted Giraffe here in New York.
He's now the chef and proprietor of several Chicago area restaurants, including MK, the restaurant, DMK Burger Bar, and Fish Bar. Cornick has received 5 consecutive James Beard Foundation nominations, and MK won a #1 rating from Zagat, as well as a nod from Condé Nast Traveler as one of the world's hottest restaurants. So we are delighted to welcome Chef Michael Kornick to the dish. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
And this table looks fantastic.
Thanks very much.
Tell us what's here.
So we have short ribs braised with allspice and red wine, butternut squash with apples and mint, carrots roasted with a little bit of cinnamon, and cauliflower with za'atar and Greek yogurt.
Purple cauliflower.
It is purple and yellow and white.
Well, it looks great. I mean, tell us a little bit. We heard as a teenager you had your own business. What were you making back then?
I did some catering for people's homes, but I went into the chocolate truffle business. And my mother sold residential real estate, so she had a big Rolodex.
Right.
And I just found a way to contact a bunch of people and sell a holiday box of chocolate truffles.
What made you want to go into the chocolate truffle business?
Well, I knew how to make them well,
Yeah.
and I wanted to make some money for the holidays. I thought I'd make $400 or $500, whatever it was, and it ended up that we did just shy of $5,000 in the month.
Wow!
And my mother helped me a lot. We turned our whole kitchen into like a chocolate truffle factory, using all the vessels we had to melt chocolate at night, and then after school roll it in balls and then roll it in cocoa and box them and. I
was reading about you, and I love this story that you sort of learned how to taste really good food from the doggy bags that your parents would bring home, because they were big foodies.
It was. They were interested in restaurants at an early time. This is 1970, 72. They respected chefs, and they went to restaurants. That was part of their social experience, so they would bring home these kind of high-quality ingredients.
That was date night.
Yeah.
So you went to the Culinary Institute.
I did.
And what really got you started in the restaurant business in Chicago?
Well, I found that I wanted to have sort of a mix between art and business, and I thought cooking did that. I started cooking at a really early age.
Yep.
Thought I wanted to be a chef by 11 or 12. And when I went to cooking school, I really, for the first time, really worked with professionals, chefs who really took their industry and their profession seriously. Right. And then I had a chance to move to New York in 1983 and work with Barry Wine at the Quilted Giraffe.
But when you started MK in 1998, there weren't a lot of chefs who were owning their own restaurants.
Yeah, I think I had left the hotel industry in 1993. I was the chef at the Four Seasons Hotel in Boston. Left to be a limited partner in a restaurant in Chicago, and that worked out really well until the partnership didn't work out so well.
Right.
And I think chefs are likely to end up in situations where they can't control their own future. There's not a lot of equity built up in that as a job, and so my wife and I thought we wanted that security, and we also thought we wanted to do something that was really our vision of the way dining felt. And MK is the kind of place where the guests really come first, and it's given us a place where we can really enjoy the kind of dining that we enjoy doing.
Was it hard to step out of the kitchen?
Well, I didn't step out right away. So I stepped out because I wanted to be present with my kids. And so after 5 years at MK, I promoted one of my sous chefs to chef, and then I started doing other things. I ended up opening some restaurants in Las Vegas and working there. And then in 2009, we opened up DMK Burger Bar as a small plate thing. So I'm not in the kitchen now unless I'm doing special events.
Right.
So last week I did an event where I'm cooking, and I go home, and I have an event next Tuesday night where I'll be cooking, and I miss the kitchen.
Right.
But it was a decision really that was more about my family and being able to coach Little League and see games on Saturdays and things like that.
And you can do that. So it seems like these days when you walk into a restaurant, the cocktail menu is getting more and more exotic. What are we drinking?
Well, this is really an old cocktail. This is a cocktail from the 20s. It's called a Boulevardier. And I love Campari, and I love Aperol, the bitters, and I find it really refreshing.
It is very
refreshing.
refreshing.
You mix it with bourbon or gin and a Negroni. And this is really kind of a bourbon-based Negroni, and I like to do it with rye. So this is bullet rye, a little bit of sweet vermouth, and Campari.
We approve.
Big job, Perk. I want to hand you this dish.
Awesome.
And ask you, because we've enjoyed dining with you, if you were to eat a meal with anyone, past or present, who would it be?
You know, I miss Elaine Chappelle, and he was a Michelin 3-star chef who, at the time, I had the greatest meal of my life.
Wow.
But more than that, he was such a great mentor in the day that I spent there. And I didn't get to cook in the kitchen. I just got to walk with him.
Yeah.
And his story about what it meant to have a profession that you could be passionate about your whole life.
You don't forget something like that.
Well, Chef Michael Kornick, thank you very much. And for more on Michael Kornick and the dish, head to our website at cbsthismorning.com.